Okay, you guys, this is the moment that I've been waiting for. I have a really huge surprise for you guys. We have worked very hard to make this day happen. I'm Mother Diva, the Madam Ambassador of House and Electronic Dance Music, and the Executive Director of Thriller Dance 2300. If you have not gotten your children into the children's raffle, we're giving away all this money from the sale of the candy store. For those of you who may not have known, when Michael Jackson lived in this house, he always wanted to have a candy store. So today we gave him a candy store, and all the sales from the candy store will go to a child, plus an additional $65 in honor of his birthday. Your new mayor, Eddie Nelson, who is the senator for this district, has sent over something very special. And just, if you guys can see this, give me your undivided attention and let me read this and get through it, because we must cut that cake at 7:33 p.m. That's the time Michael Jackson was born. We have a worldwide cake cutting. There are fans all over the world. We're going to cut the cake at the same time in every country. Okay? So I want to get through this. Guys ready? Yes. Okay, this is Michael Jackson's biography, and I stayed up many nights writing it. Michael Joe Jackson was born into the world on August 29, 1958 at 7:33 p.m. at St. Mary's Mercy Hospital in Gary, Indiana. And at the age of 2, Michael Jackson was a child prodigy. His mother, Mrs. Catherine Jackson, noticed how he danced in tune with the agitator sound of the washing machine. And in 1965, Michael Jackson, along with his brothers, joined his first band as a background singer and bongo player in Gary, Indiana's local resident musician Raynard Jones band called Jawan and the Torianos, with his brother Jermaine Jackson as lead singer. And in 1965, Joe Jackson, their father, began to manage the group and changed their name to the Jackson Brothers and made Michael Jackson the lead singer. In 1965, the Jackson Brothers were invited to perform right here in Glen Park Fashion Show, produced by model Evelyn LaHaye, who advised Joe Jackson to change their name to the Jackson 5. On March 22nd, 1967, Michael Jackson made his first ever solo public performance during a concert at the James Garnett Elementary School in Gary, Indiana. He performed Climb Every Mountain from the Sound of Music. In July of 1967, the Jackson 5 were being developed by the Regal Theater weekly talent show producer, Mr. E. Ratney Jones and Mr. Purvis Spann, and recorded their first song, Big Boy, at Wonderful Records in Chicago, Illinois. On November 21st, 1967, Joe Jackson signed the first recording contract 5 years ago this year, and he re-recorded Big Boy with professional musicians in Chicago, Illinois' Sonny Sawyer Studios. On March 5th, 1968, Steeltown Records signed a distribution deal with Atlantic Records and released Big Boy on the B-side, which was You've Changed. The 45 records sold over 60,000 copies, which gained the attention of Berry Gordy, CEO of Motown Records. On July 23, 1968, the Jackson 5 auditioned for Motown Records, and 3 days later, ironically on their father's birthday, July 26, 1968, an agreement was made with Motown Records, which finalized on March 11, 1969. In December of 1969, the Jackson 5 released their first album on Motown. Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, selling over 2 million copies in the first 6 weeks, with the hit single, I Want You Back, going to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. On October 10, 1970, Michael Jackson sang Lead, accompanied by his brothers on the national anthem for the World Series at the Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Baltimore Orioles. And on January 4th, 1972, Motown released Michael Jackson's first solo album, Got to Be There. The album sold 1.5 million copies worldwide. And on August 4th, 1972, Motown released Michael Jackson's second solo album, Ben. The album sold 5 million copies worldwide, and the title track was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song in a Motion Picture for Film.
where Michael Jackson recorded 5 solo albums for Motown with combined total sales in excess of $10 million. On March 10, 1976, the Jackson 5, now known as the Jacksons, signed a record deal with Epic Records, releasing their debut album, The Jacksons, featuring the hit single Enjoy Yourself and Show You the Way to Go. The Jacksons' debut album was certified gold, and Michael Jackson wrote, produced, and published his first song, Blues Away, for the Jacksons' debut album. In 1978, Michael Jackson was cast in the film The Wiz and received $100,000 for the role as the Scarecrow. And this is where he formed a musical production partnership with the Dude, Chicago's own Mr. Quincy Jones. On August 10, 1979, 2 weeks shy of his 21st birthday, Michael Jackson released his first solo album on Epic Records, Off the Wall, selling over 10 million records worldwide. The album was experimental for that time, infused with jazz, classical, disco, R&B, pop, and soul. The album went to #1 on the Billboard R&B charts and stayed on the charts for 16 weeks. It was the 3rd best-selling album of 1980 in the United States and the United Kingdom. Michael Jackson won 3 American Music Awards for Off the Wall, including Favorite Soul R&B Artist of the Year. On April 14, 1982, Michael Jackson went into the studio to record what is now known as the greatest selling album of all time. On November 1982, the Thriller album was released. To date, Thriller has gone diamond over 10 times and stayed on the music chart over 500 weeks, which is 10 years to be exact and counting. The sales from Thriller allowed all employees at Sony Records to go on vacation for 2 weeks, selling over 120 million copies and counting. Whereas 40 years ago this past May, Michael Jackson debuted the Moonwalk Dance on Motown 25 television special during his performance of Billie Jean to over 47 million viewers around the world. Billie Jean's music video to date has over 1 billion views on YouTube. On December 2nd, 1983, the Thriller short film aired on MTV. The video was inducted into the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress of the United States of America. The first music video to ever receive this honor for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. In 1984, Michael Jackson toured with his brothers on the Victory Tour and donated all his proceeds from the tour to charity. In 1985, Michael Jackson co-wrote We Are the World that raised more than $75 million for USA for Africa's project. In 1985, Michael Jackson purchased the ATV Associate Television catalog and merged it with Sony in a partnership that made Michael Jackson one of the most powerful businessmen in the world, eventually owning half of all Sony Music Publishing. In 1986, Michael Jackson produced and appeared in a short science fiction film, Captain EO, for Disney, featuring the hit single, Just Another Part of Me. At the time, the 17-minute film was the most expensive to produce at $1.6 million per minute. In 1987, Michael Jackson introduced the world to sonic sound, which are spectrums and frequencies based off energy in the universe. With the Bad album, he personally wrote 9 of the 11 songs. The socially conscious song Man in the Mirror was certified 3 times platinum. In 1988, to continue the visual aspects of the Bad album, Michael Jackson produced and starred in a concert science fiction film, Moonwalker, which featured a tribute to Fred Astaire with the creative choreography of the Smooth Criminal video, where Michael Jackson debuted the gravity-defying Lean. Nominated for 4 Grammys, winning Best Engineered Album to date, it has sold over 40 million copies. Michael Jackson went on to release Dangerous album, History album, Blood on the Dance Floor album, which became the greatest selling remix 6th album of all time. 30 years ago, in 1993, Michael Jackson performed Heal the World at the Super Bowl with over 85,000 attendees participating in the visual production of the show by holding up cardboard to give the visual of children around the world, making it the largest produced Super Bowl halftime show of all time. In 2001, Michael Jackson rocked our world with his final album of new music. The Invincible album, with limited promotion, still went to #1 worldwide. And on August 30th, 2001, in New York City, while still celebrating his 42nd birthday, Michael Jackson was the first African-American male recording artist, dancer, and humanitarian to ring the NASDAQ bell to open the markets on Wall Street. In 2003, Michael Jackson's #1 greatest hits album was released and went to #1, hence the title of the album. Michael Jackson was the first artist to have 1 million downloads in the first week of its release. Michael Jackson, as a member of the Jackson 5, sold more than 100 million records worldwide, and as a solo artist to date, has sold more than 1 billion records worldwide. Michael Jackson is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records 39 times, including being named the most successful entertainer of all time and the most awarded individual of all time, a record-breaking 834 awards, and even having an award named in his honor, the MTV Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, which is given to artists and music video directors for groundbreaking work in visual arts. And as a humanitarian, Michael Jackson assisted Dick Gregory to distribute thousands of herbal nutrition drinks to malnourished countries in Africa. And Michael Jackson has donated over $300 million to over 39 charities and even purchased a liver to save a child's life. Michael Jackson was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize twice, in 1998 and in 2003, for his humanitarian work. Michael Jackson met with the members of the United States Congress to discuss ways to unify the world and provide healing solutions for the United States of America. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, from the state of Indiana, Senate District 3. Are you Carolyn Jackson? She is here to read. We were waiting for you. This is the state representative from the Indiana General Assembly, Ms. Carolyn Jackson. She is here in place of Senator Eddie Melton, who had a prior engagement, and he will be your next mayor. All you have to do is read these last 2 paragraphs.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here. I am so sorry, but Senator Melton was unable to be here today, so I'm here in his place. Senator Eddie Melton is a dear friend of mine. He represents the 3rd District here in the state of Indiana. Therefore, Senator Eddie Melton hereby declares on the 65th anniversary of Michael Jackson's birth, August 29, 2023, Michael Jackson Day. Indiana Senate District number. There's a copy of this proclamation sponsored by the Honorable Eddie Melton, presented to the citizens of Gary, Indiana, the Jackson family, and Ms. Valencia Densler, also known as Mother Diva. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you for coming. This is history, you guys. You don't understand how important this is. There are people trying to cancel Michael Jackson and lying on him. And I worked very hard. He now has an honorary holiday from the state of Indiana. We have made history. He cannot be canceled. All you haters, you messed with the wrong woman husband, and I got my man a holiday. Hallelujah! in front of his house at 2300 Jackson Street, always home. This is Gary. We doing it big.